G'day, boys. Dizz, what's that thing you do, that segment? What's it called?
Oh, no.
You're kidding me.
What-
Give me a
what is it?
spell. Pidge.
Yeah.
Give me a spell.
Give me a spell. I reckon it's going to be like an hour and a half today with you. Give me a spell with the amount of stuff you've got to talk about.
Oh,
No, I've streamlined it. I've streamlined it, big fella.
Is there a
No,
bit of jealousy there?
I reckon there is.
no, I'm
I
looking
reckon
forward
there is,
to it.
Flem.
I'm looking forward to Dizzy give plenty of people a spray. I love it.
Gee, I reckon you're ready to go, Pidge, so we better get into it, all right?
Got him.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Fast Bowling Cartel. The Ashes are back, baby. Next Friday at Optus Stadium, the longest-running rivalry in all sport starts. The Ashes, Australia versus England. How good's the build-up been? England fast bowler or former fast bowler Stewie Broad, he's lobbing barbs from now in his retirement. Ian Healy firing back for the Aussies. England captain Ben Stokes, he's talking about unfinished business and also having a crack at has-been critics. And Stephen Smith, he's questioning whether the English pace attack will work out here in Australia. So there's injuries, there's form concerns. Will Bazball work in Australia? Will Josh Hazlewood and Mark Wood be available for the first test? We're going to answer all these throughout the podcast. I'm Damien Fleming, and joining me as always, two absolute legends on and off the cricket field. First, a man who took 8 5-wicket hauls for Australia and 16 times made 25 runs plus at 9, 10, 11. Of course, I'm talking about Jason Gillespie. Dizz, thanks for joining us.
G'day, Flem. G'day, Pidge. Great to be here. And as you said in your opener there, Flem, it's so exciting. Can't wait for that first test. There's been a lot of talk, a lot of speculation about the various issues, both in the Australian and the English camps. Unpacking all that is a lot of fun, and I think everyone's really looking forward to day one in Perth.
Yeah, and the main man really on this podcast, he took 29 fifers in Test cricket and twice scored 25 plus. Of course, it's the great man, Glenn McGrath.
Good to see you, boys. No worries, Flem. A funny thing that all my high scores have all been with Dizzy at the other end, so it's nice to see him hang around. But like you boys have been saying, looking forward to the Ashes starting. It's still the ultimate for an Aussie cricketer. All the talk beforehand, I think, is just adding to it and building it up. So I can't wait to get underway next week. What is it? Friday next week, underway.
Man, I'm so excited. Just on that, I did do a bit of research, looking up the 25. We want the tail enders 9, 10, 11 to raise the bat when they get to 25. The second one, or the second highest, you two blokes put on 60 against the West Indies, Port of Spain, included in their attack was Curtly Ambrose and Courtney Walsh. So where were you taking them down?
I think I actually used the offside a little bit more in that one rather than my 61, but I think I got 39 and 10 for. So it was, for the match. So it's a good memory, that one.
Pidge, that was in Trinidad, wasn't it?
On Cricket Info,
actually-
it has you man of the match, Pidge. Just finish there. And what I loved is it did have your 39 there as well.
Yeah, and fair enough too. Like that's a massive score for me. But the thing I remember, and I've got it up in the trophy cabinet, I'll have to pull it out, that the boys presented me with this flute, and they all signed it for the. And it's a nice little sort of memory, little memento up in my trophy cabinet there. This flute that's all the boys have signed.
And to you, Diz, the Ashes build up. You had a shield round where we saw some strong performances from a few players, but we also saw some injuries. Josh Hazlewood, Sean Abbott's out of the squad for England. Mark Wood, who, they are hoping to be able to rotate with Jofra Archer to have some express pace in every test. He stopped after 8 overs yesterday with a hamstring injury there. How have you seen the build-up from both sides?
Yeah, I'd be more confident if I was in the Australian camp. I think, having some rounds of Sheffield Shield cricket, some good, hard, first-class cricket, I don't think you can beat that. I understand the modern game, with all the formats and tighter turnarounds for tours. Teams are moving away from, I suppose, the traditional tour matches leading into Test series, but I just can't help but feel that the English having one game at Lilac Hill on a low, slow club wicket, one glorified net, let's be honest, against the England Lions, is that giving themselves the best preparation for what is going to be a bouncy Perth Stadium surface next Friday?
Yeah, certainly so. And I think for the Australians, one of the big pluses has been Cam Green, Pidge. 90-odd with the bat. He's bowled close to 20 overs. I saw that first wicket. It was an absolute peach, fast and bouncy. Strong performances there, but also he's talked about his action, which, he's had stress fractures about 3 times. He wants to run in a bit straighter, try and angle that front foot instead of down to fine leg, straight down the pitch, to be taller, less side flexion. That all sounds good, but it's not the easiest thing to do when you're running in 100%, is it? No,
exactly right. It's good to see Cam Green having a good head out there. It's been 12 months or more since he had the operation, so they've really sort of nursed him back and sort of haven't pushed him too hard. But it looks like he's going well at the moment. To score those runs, I think will do his confidence. Absolute massive bonus there. His bowling, it looks good. I was just slowed his action down and had a look at it. The only thing I'm concerned about is trying to get his front foot down, straight down the pitch a little bit more, which is more a result of what happens beforehand. So it's hard to change something if you don't, sort the cause out. So I was just watching his load, his front shoulder. I'd like to see it come back a little bit more so his hips and his shoulders are more in alignment. If he can do that, I reckon then he'll follow through straight down the pitch and have less problems. But the toughest thing to do is to work on your action through the season. You're out there playing. You need a lot of time to make small changes in your action. So hopefully for him, I'm sure he's been in the gym. He's gotten really strong, which will hold him in good stead. But looking at his action now, I reckon just that needs to do a little bit more tweaking with the front shoulder, the bowling arm, getting that shoulder back more and getting that front arm right in front of his face. And that I think will help. But he's bowling good pace. That ball really carries through. What is he, 6'7" plus? He's always going to get good bounce.
Actually, we might have just some footage of that wicket he got for Western Australia. It will play that through. And just backing up what you said, I'm not sure what you think, Dizz, but, that focus on getting the front foot a bit more splayed down the pitch, the problem is his knee drives to fine leg. I think it's a lot easier that your big body part, like a knee, if you can get that straight down the wicket, your foot should follow that. So that's the only thing I can see from his action.
Yeah, so that combined with his shoulder, if he gets those in alignment better, the follow through and what happens after you, after the load, it'll be perfect. So he's a big, strong bloke. He bowls good areas. So he's probably more a batting all rounder, but he's got potential to be a very good all rounder for Australia.
Dizz, have you seen him much, coming through at state level when you were coach of South Australia, bowling wise?
Yeah, he's bowled a little bit, Flem, to be honest. But he's always seemed to be managed, Cam Green. They do look after. They see him as a massive asset in that Australian side, and he is. There's good reason for that because he is a very good bowler for all the reasons that you and Pidge mentioned. Let's not forget as well, I mean, obviously Cam Green, I think he stepped, as you mentioned with knee drive, stepping towards his target. I think, as Pidge said, all those alignment issues will be minimised, and I think that could only be good for him going forward. Another one, I suppose, to throw in is Bo Webster just picked up 5 against South Australia down in Tassie in the last round of Shield. All the talk is that Bo Webster will probably make way if Cameron Green is bowling in that, but the big fella from Snug is saying, "Don't write me off yet, boys. Don't write me off yet."
Well, that leads us in, Dizz. What would your 11 be for Australia?
Yeah, look, my 11, I think the only way both those guys, Webster and Green, play is if they don't play the specialist opener in Weatherald. If Weatherald plays, then I think they'll go Green, and that'll be really hard on Bo Webster. He's done nothing wrong. He's still showing what he can do with both bat and ball. But I suspect Green will slide down the order. Marnus will bat at 3, and then they'll go with the 3 seamers, Nathan Lyon and Cam Green. The only way I see Webster playing is if the Australian selectors and Andrew McDonald decide that spin isn't going to play a prominent role and they might leave the GOAT out. I'd be reluctant to do that personally, but that's the only way I can see Webster and Green playing in the same team.
Yeah, no, I agree with Dizz there. I think they really want to open with Jake Weatherall to get a proper opener in at the top of the order, bringing Marnus in at 3. And then Kim Green, who's been batting 3, will slide down to where Bo Webster is. But yeah, it's interesting to leave Nathan Lyon out. Ooh, that'd be a big call, wouldn't it? And I think that's the big difference between both teams is our spin option compared to England's spin options. And but on a pitch that's doing a bit, if it's a little bit of grass, I remember Warney always said if it seams, it spins or it turns. So I think Shano said a lot of things, whatever kept him in the team half the time. Not that he was ever needed to worry about that. But yeah, Nathan Lyon, I think I said previously, he's sitting 1 wicket behind me. So if it takes another 2 or 3 games to get it because he's resting or not playing, who am I to judge?
I'll tell you what, with Lino's record at Optus Stadium, he might get it in his first over. Yeah, he's been phenomenal there, hasn't he? But just as you were talking there, Dizz, I'm thinking of different scenarios. So I want Weatherall to open because we're going to need, Usman might finish up, hopefully he gets through and gets runs after this Ashes series. So we're going to need 2 openers. But what happens if Josh Hazlewood doesn't pull up fit? Who comes in for Josh? Is it Brendan Doggett, who's been in unbelievable form, but there's an uncertainty with him? Do the Australian selectors go there, uncertainty about Doggett? Is that when we make a change that Labuschagne does open and we play Green and Webster, knowing that we can get more overs out of them?
Not for me. I'd be still going the out-and-out bowler. You've got to take 20 wickets. I think we've got the batting to score the runs. It's taking 20 wickets. What's the best option? And you touched on it. Brendan Doggett's been in great form. He's been in and around this Australian squad for a little while now. He's gone on a few tours, and they obviously like what they see. And he's actually performed at the next level down at Shield Cricket. And the selectors have made it very clear that performances in the first 4 rounds of Shield Cricket are going to be taken into consideration for Ashes selection. So they've done that with Marnus. He's banged the door down by scoring a lot of runs. Brendan Doggett's done that with the ball. So for me, it's a straight swap. If Hazlewood doesn't come up fit, then I'm just bringing Doggett straight in.
Yeah, no, I agree, Dizz. I think he deserves the opportunity if it presents itself. Sometimes if you replace an out-and-out fast bowler with an all-rounder, it's like you're taking an each-way bet. I think England and other teams have done that in the past and it hasn't worked. So like with the opening position, you need a solid opener. You need an opener at the top there. Australia's tried a lot of different things. It hasn't quite worked. And with fast bowlers, I think you need to go like for like.
Yeah, and what about for England? Is it basically going to be Duckett, Crawley, Pope, Root, Brooke, Stokes, Smith, Atkinson, Archer, and who will be the number 11? Will it be Cass, Tongue? Who would you pick out of those?
I like Bryden Cass. I think he runs in, hits the pitch hard. I remember I was last year in Pakistan on some of the most benign surfaces for fast bowlers. Bryden Cass ran in and bowled 140 k an hour consistently, hitting the pitch hard, and did a lot of the donkey work, so to speak, for England on those flat surfaces. On the surfaces here in Australia that have a bit more bounce, a bit more carry, I think he could be a bit of a handful. And he can hold a bat as well, Bryden Cars. So I expect him to potentially play. The other one I like, you mentioned Josh Tongue, and he's got some real airspeed, and he can be a little bit wayward. I think that if Woods doesn't play, I think the shootout will be between Josh Tongue and Matthew Potts, the Durham seamer. Potts has done nothing wrong when he's played for England. He turns up, he bowls his overs, bowls those donkey overs. So I think he could come into the conversation for England for sure. I can't see them playing Shoaib Bashir at the moment. I just think that they'll feel that they want to attack. Their best option is to attack with fast bowlers. That's going to be a nightmare for over eights, but England don't care about over eights anyway. That's their captain has said that, so that's irrelevant. But I think Joe Root will take the spinning duties. They do have Will Jacks in their squad as well, who is a useful off spinner. But let's see which way they go.
Yeah, no, I agree with Dizz there. I think they really wanted to start with Archer and Wood in the first one and just go hard at the Australians. That first Test match, if they lose the first one, a lot of times it's hard to come back from that in Australia. Stokes came out the other day saying that all his bowlers bowl 85 mile an hour plus, which he thinks is a massive bonus. But I'm just curious that they don't have a huge amount of experience of playing in Australian conditions on quicker, bouncier wickets. And if you don't adjust to the length, if you're just bowling short of a length, and sometimes when you bowl quick, the outfields here are got a bit of pace in them as well. So the quicker you bowl, the quicker you go. So a lot of it comes down to them adjusting and adapting to the lengths. Lilac Hill, as you mentioned, is a really slow, low wicket, which is the complete opposite to what they're going to get at Perth Stadium. So I guess a good lead up for the Australians have done well in giving them Lilac Hill to practice on.
Yeah, and just on the opposition spinner, I think the stats say that if Nathan averages 30 a wicket in Australia, the opposition on average since he's been playing is like 65, 70 runs a wicket. So it doesn't work. So I think your best quick is better than your top spinner in Australian conditions, unless you unearth a Nathan Lyon. But I think that I think Tongue in particular, those couple of wickets he got at Lord's last Ashes, he knocked over Khawaja and Warner from around the wicket. They were absolute crackers. I think Atkinson's important because he's had such a great start to his career. But the thing we always talk about when we get to Perth, and the one thing we've loved about Optus Stadium is we felt like they lose the characteristics of the WACA pitch. No, we haven't. It's been as quick and pacey there. But we always talk about bowling the right length, isn't it? An extra metre fuller because of the pace and bounce. Did you two have any trouble adjusting the first time you went to the WACA?
Oh, my first time, I played, I think, one dayer and then the Test match. It was probably the first time I played at the WACA, really. And it was the old WACA. It was quick and bouncy. I didn't mind it. I didn't get carried away with the pace and bounce. So I think, I got a wicket early, Mark Greypatch in that match and caught by heels, which has always helped settle the nerves and sort of get you into the innings of any game, let alone your first one. So, it's one of those pitches. I wasn't express. You see those express guys get carried away with the ball flying, the keeper taking it above their head. They can get carried away with it. So we'll wait and see.
Dizz, what about yourself?
Yeah, Flem, I remember playing a second 11 game there as a youngster, and adjusting to the lengths there, then managed to play a couple of Shield games. I think it just takes you a little while. I think if you get your training done in the WACA nets, because they replicated the middle perfectly. So just adjusting your lengths at training in the preparation. And I think sometimes, if you weren't quite getting it right, it might just take you an over or two just to adjust that length. I do remember playing a test match there against England, and at the end of one evening, I'd bowled 9 overs for 69 runs. And I genuinely thought my test match career was over, because I was bowling about a foot too short. Graham Hick, Mark Ramprakash just kept pulling me into the crowd, and I was in a pit of misery. I just thought my test career is over here. And this is where I suppose leadership comes into it. Mark Taylor was our captain, Tubby, and the next morning, I'm still feeling a bit flat from the bowling the previous evening, and he's just walked up to me, tapped me on the shoulder. Dizz, you all right? He's chewing his gum. Dizz, you good? Yeah, oh, okay, Tub. He said, mate, you're starting today. Just adjust your length a little bit. You'll be fine, mate. And just walked off. And it gave me that much confidence that the captain gave me that feedback and was trusting me the next day to do the job for the team. And I managed to go out, get a few wickets, and just felt great. It was just a really good example of a captain or a leader just having your back and trusting you to do your job. Yeah, it didn't quite get it right the night before, but that's okay, Dizz. You'll be fine. Just adjust your length. And
he only went for 69, Dizz, so, that's okay.
But it was just great leadership, and it made me feel walk a foot taller. Like, it was fantastic.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, I reckon I played under a few captains that wouldn't have said that to you, Dizz. They would have had the teacups box up. What's he doing? Try and keep it under a rudder ball or something like that. So that's brilliant. But we'll go through a few of the WACA tests, but that's the one we all played together. And I looked up the stats. We took 19 wickets of the 20, us three. Who do you think took the other wicket?
Ooh. Was it the King?
No. Well, you would have thought so.
No.
It's going to be Mark or Steve Waugh, isn't it?
Yeah, Warney was injured for that Ashes. He come back for the fifth test.
That's right.
Stuart McGillar dominated that series. He was brilliant, but he didn't play.
Yeah.
So who was it? It wasn't a Waugh twin.
Oh, no, I'll tell you who it was. Was it Mardo? Did Mardo play? No.
It was.
No, it was the other quick.
And
Someone like Cookie or someone.
No, say good day to him because he listens in the Bahamas and he's texted us all ready to go. And don't forget about me as a guest. It's Swiller Killer Miller.
Swiller Driller Killer Chiller Thriller Miller.
He only bowled about 4 overs and he got, I think, Crawley caught a bat pad from Alfie. But, yeah, I just remember my thoughts of the WACA. How quick were the WACA nets? If the actual pitch in the middle was like 100 miles an hour, the WACA was 150, wasn't it? Like nightmare batting.
So fast.
But you're just going, my God, this is going to be unbelievable. But wasn't quite as quick. But Dip and I had to bowl into the breeze. So you know what I loved? The Fremantle Doctor.
Yeah.
When the Freo Doctor come in, it was just suited for the outswingers, which Terry Alderman and Kenny McClay and all those classic WACA fast bowlers. Mick Malone used to bowl into that.
Malone,
but,
wow.
Talking about Mark Taylor, gentlemen, our captain, Pat Cummins, isn't playing, but we've got a very capable captain filling in, Stephen Smith. Not many teams in the world would be able to lose their captain and know that they've got a brilliant captain, innovative. I think he averages 65 when he's captain Stephen Smith, but he hasn't been captaining a lot at the moment. He captained New South Wales Shield game against Victoria, which the Vics won in 3 days. Thank you very much. But I reckon he might have the yips at the toss. I'm worried with him next Friday, with him tossing. We've got some footage. Have a look at this, boys.
For the math. Let him lead the side.
Look at that. I think he needs practice tossing the coin, doesn't he?
That's what he needs practice at.
That was a shocker. He's got his mare out.
Did you see that?
I don't know how you can actually do that.
Look at
I don't know how you can do that. It's ridiculous.
You wouldn't want him at 2 up. He's gone to flick it and it's just rolled off his index finger. You can see the disappointment from Will Sutherland. He's actually looking in the sky.
Well, how high has he raised his hand? You actually flick with your thumb, don't you? Not your whole hand. So maybe he's got a week to practice. So hopefully he'll be in the nets, but he should be there in the room just flicking that coin as well. But that was pretty average, wasn't it?
So all the journos are missing the biggest headline going into this Ashes series.
They are.
At the toss, does Stephen Smith have the yips? And did you see who was joining him there? Greg Moe Matthews out in the middle.
Brilliant.
What an absolute
I
legend.
haven't seen Mo for a while.
Hey, question. Big one that's going around. Will Bazball work in Australian conditions? First to you, Dizz.
Look, England, the way they play, it relies heavily on the surface being very much in favour of batting. If there's any sideways movement, I think the bounce is going to be an issue for the England players, particularly if they haven't had much practice. Bear in mind, most of this batting order have been playing in the short form, in the white ball cricket in New Zealand, where the surfaces don't bounce or carry. They do seam a little bit, and they struggled there. I think the Bazball could struggle with the extra bounce, maybe a bit of that sideways movement that we see in Australia, particularly in the first 30 overs. Yep, I'm going to say that I think they're going to battle. I think England deep down know that they're going to bat deep. They want to bat deep because I think they're worried about their top three and exposing Root, Brook and Stokes too early in the piece. They don't want those guys in the first 30 overs. If they are, Australia are miles on top.
Yeah, no, I agree, Diz. I think the difference is the bounce over here. And you look at Bazball, you look at someone like Ben Duckett, who refuses to leave any ball alone at all. If you're trying to play a shot, every shot to one that's really jumping off a length, good luck. And Bazball, so many times you see their batsmen. Brook, I think, is just a class player. He's going to be something special by the, already is, if he can adapt to the conditions here in Australia. A lot of times he hits sixes that just carry over the rope. And, in England, that's a lot smaller ovals or fields than what they have here in Australia. So they need to adjust to that. Bazball itself, it's an interesting concept. There's certain parts of it I really like, and there's other parts which I absolutely hate. I look at Bazball and the way they talk themselves up. Firstly, the people talking Bazball up and saying how it's changing the game and how brilliant they're playing are the players themselves, which I think is absolutely rubbish. It's up to your peers and everyone else to judge how you're going, not how for you to come out and judge how you're going. And secondly, I love seeing players, sports people go out and play without fear, not go out and play without pressure. Pressure is what makes the greats of any game. And Bazball sometimes try to say, just go out and play. If you get out, that's okay. It's like they're trying to get rid of pressure, which I think is absolutely rubbish. You've got to have a little bit of accountability. And if you go out there and perform under pressure, back yourself, but enjoy that pressure. That's what it's about. And so, leave the judging to how you're going up to everyone else, not up to the players themselves. So, it's going to be interesting. Oh, sorry. But I'm looking forward to it. But that Australia get early wickets, get Root out there under pressure, never scored 100 in Australia. So it's going to be good.
Tell you what, I reckon you want to get the ball right now and bloody play. How pumped up was he there,
I'm good.
Diz?
Oh, jeez, that was Pidgey off the long run, Flem, wasn't it?
That was awesome. Awesome.
I like a bit of humility, Flem, when it comes to. I like confidence and a touch of arrogance. But when you're talking about your own performances, that's up to someone else to judge just how well you're going. So a little bit of more humility, I think, is the way to go.
The English have been talking as if they're changing the game. I remember some players that we played with that batted as aggressively as these guys. So, look, proof will be in the pudding. Let's see.
But, to give it to England, Flem, their results with Bazball, it's about 50-50. It's obviously working really well.
No Test Championship final, lads. They haven't played in one yet.
They've won 50%, lost at 50%. So when it works, great. When it doesn't work, it's bloody horrendous.
Yeah, and back to, pumping themselves up. It's a bit of third-person work, really, isn't it? Like, it's like, the Bazball's working well. Yeah, the Bazball, blah, blah, blah. So it's almost like they're trying to get themselves into a trance with that belief.
Yeah.
And also, I've seen it's been wound back a bit. Early on, they were going at 4.8 and over. Now it's down to 4.3. They're batting against India. You definitely say that Crawley goes all out, Brook goes all out, and Smith goes all out. Duckett and Root and all that are very, very aggressive. Stokes' batting's sort of fallen back a bit, but his bowling's picked back up again. Flem,
just on one thing there, you're saying the way they talk in the third person. I remember someone else sort of talking, I don't know if it's in the third person, but when we played on pitches that were rubbish, I remember someone coming out saying, I can't comment on the surface, but a really good friend of mine said it's the worst track he's ever seen. Do you remember who said that, Flem?
Oh, if only he was on this podcast. Did you get a little call from Cricket Australia there, Dizz?
Yeah, I got a little bit of a slap from James Sutherland for that.
So you knew you couldn't criticise the wicket, but by saying a mate's cousin's friend criticised it, you were very, very clever. So what did James Sutherland, the boss, say to you?
Well, I took it from the Kevin Sheedy school of getting stuck into umpires without actually getting stuck into them. So what I said, it was a fourth test in India in 2004. And we played it in Mumbai, and it was a tip of a wicket, like a pitch. Sorry, and at the end of the game, I was asked my opinion of the surface. I said, "Look, obviously, I can't comment on the surface, but look, I just spoke to my mate Jono back in Adelaide, and he thought the pitch was a disgrace." And so James Sutherland actually came to me. He came to me after. He said, "Dizz, that's very clever, but don't ever do that again." He made it very clear that it was unacceptable.
You got away with it. You got away with it once, though, Dizz. That's
I got away with it, but mate, I was never getting away with that again.
And mate, on a personal note, how is your mate Jono going?
Jono's going well.
Yeah, going well.
Just,
very critical.
Caught up with him recently, actually. So. Just got back from overseas. Jono's going. Great guns, thanks.
Hey, we talked about the WACA and Optus Stadium, and I think England have to win that Test match to win the series, because England have played, including 79-80, which wasn't an actual Ashes series, 13 Tests in Perth. Australia have won 9. There's been 3 draws. England have only won 1 test, and that was in 1978-79 when Australian team was like a second 11 because of World Series cricket. So they've been very, very poor in either at the WACA or at Optus Stadium. So if they don't win here, I can't see them winning the series.
Yeah, that first test is always incredibly important. And you look at the last 3 series, England haven't even gone close to winning a game. To lose 5-0, 4-0, 4-0, that's an absolute drubbing. So, to lose, get off to a bad start, lose that first test in Perth, it could be a very, very long series for them again. But we'll wait and see. We saw India win that first one last year against Australia, but I think our fast bowlers were underdone. I think our quicks are probably in better situation now. Hopefully, Hoff's got no issues there, and Pat Cummins not far from coming back. But yeah, the first test is always so important. If England can get a win somehow, which I really can't see happening, that'll give them massive confidence, and Australia will have to sort of really work hard to come back. But that first test is incredibly important.
And further to that, I think the second test is a Brisbane day-night game. So it could be, as you said, Pidge, it could be a very long summer for England. If they lose that first test in Perth, then they go to Brisbane playing a day-night pink ball test. It's going to be tough work for them.
What about our top run scorers for the Ashes and leading wicket takers and the actual end result? I'll start with, for Australia, top run scorer. A bit boring. I'm going to go Stephen Smith at number 4. Wait, he's come back. He's already scored 100 in Shield cricket. Runs against the Vicks in a dominated game by Victorian bowlers. I think he averages 60 odd in Ashes cricket. I think it's set up for a massive series for Stephen Smith.
Yeah, I think Smudge is up there. Definitely, he's in form. Marnus has been scoring a truckload of runs, and Travis Head. Heady plays with a different type of confidence now. He knows his spot in the team, the way he goes about it. So it's going to be out of those 3. I think it's. I reckon Marnus. Marnus he's back. He's due, and if he can have a big series, that'll really set Australia up.
Travis Head for me, boys. I think coming in the middle order there, I think the top 4 will do a lot of the hard yards, getting through those first 40, 50 overs. Travis Head will come in and play his natural aggressive game, and I think he's going to have a cracking series.
Yeah, and for England, I'm going there number 4 as well. Joe Root. I'm not even predicting 100. I just think he'll get the most runs for him. He's someone who's really thrived under Bazball. I don't think the captaincy set well with him, and that's not a dig at Joe. Some people are more comfortable being captain and leading the team, but he's always been a classical player. He's added in a few of those ramps and he's the one player out of all of them I think's thrived in these conditions. I'm predicting he won't get 100, but he will be the leading run scorer for England.
Yeah, no, interesting. I think Bazball has helped Joe Root out, like you said. He can just go out and play his natural game. He doesn't go out there and try to, take them on like the other batsmen do. If he has a big series leading run scorer, I think that could have a positive impact on England's batting lineup. Harry Brook is someone who's, I think, is pretty special. He can do anything, but I think how he adjusts to the bigger fields and the bouncier conditions. I'm going to put Ben Stokes down as leading run scorer because I think the top order are going to fail.
I don't know how I could follow that, Fleb. No, look, I'm tossing up between Joe Root, Harry Brook. I'm probably going to say Joe Root. I think his experience out here, I know he hasn't scored 100. He's a class player. He's one of the best players that's played the game. I expect him to have a pretty good tour out here. He's learnt these lessons. He'll work it out. I think Harry Brook, I think the bounce, and Pidge touched on the bigger grounds here. He clears the rope in that, but he only just clears the rope. The bigger grounds here in Australia might catch him out. So I'm going to go Joe Root. I think he'll be England's leading run scorer.
Beautiful. And the eventual scoreline, I'm going 3-1 Australia and a washout in Sydney.
No worries. So we need Sydney to be full 5 days, Flem, for the McGrath Foundation.
No, it gets washed out on day 4 and 5.
Late day 5? Okay.
Yeah,
no worries.
yeah. So we'll break record numbers for the McGrath Foundation.
No, thanks, mate. Appreciate it. I'm not a big one for making predictions.
Never done it. Are you comfortable making a prediction, Glenn?
Yes, I will for you this time. I think the matches are all going to be pretty close. I've been saying they're going to come down to the wire, with Australia just getting across the line in every single test match. So I'm going 5-0 to the Aussies.
Ooh, that's a bit controversial. Did you just hear that, JC boy?
Shocked
you
me.
Look stunned.
Glenn saying 5-0 Australia.
You should have done this when you played.
Yeah.
No, if only, Flem, if only.
Diz, have you got something different between me and Pigeon?
No, I've been saying all along, Flem, I'm a bit aligned with you. I'm thinking 3-1 Australia. Don't know if there's going to be a washout or just a hard-fought draw, but yeah, I'm predicting 3-1 to Australia.
So when you say 3-1, which Test matches England have you put them down to win?
I just think it'll be, if it is the most benign batter-friendly surface, that's where I think they'll have half a chance. So that could be potentially MCG, depending how Adelaide matches up, short square boundaries if they take a punt and start slogging. That could be their game, but
and Sydney's just a bit of a lottery, isn't it? We just don't have a common characteristic for Sydney anymore. I wish we could get back to the Turner. Yeah,
we don't know what the weather's going to be in Sydney either.
I can't wait for Friday. Hey, one of the things we keep doing and looking back is I love our top fives, and they are going gangbusters on YouTube. So this one I've gone for you guys, the top five Aussie Ashes fast bowlers of all time, and I have included things like the Centenary Test for myself and 79-80. Which was the first series after World Series cricket, and the MCC said, no, it's only 3 tests, so it's not an actual Ashes series, but I'm including those stats in mine.
Okay.
Dizz, you're the metric guy, and you've been getting some great feedback from your Indian fans. Can you lead us off with your top 5 Aussie Ashes fast bowlers? Of our lifetime too, isn't it, from 1970 onwards?
So, look, I've done a deep dive into the stats, boys, and I've looked at I look at economy rate. I sort of marry up economy rates, averages, and strike rates, which I think are really important. So I've got my little formula, and I've worked it out. So without further ado, I'm going to go my top 5. My criteria is 15 Test matches. So a minimum. I want to make a couple of honorary mentions first.
Yes.
There are a couple of guys that didn't quite satisfy that criteria, but with the numbers, the strike rates, economy rates, averages, they actually fared very well and would in fact be probably the top 2 for Australia, and that's Rodney Malcolm Hogg and Ryan Harris. So Rodney Hogg, 56 wickets at 17 in Ashes cricket. And from 11 Test matches, and Ryan Harris from 12 Test matches, 57 wickets at 20.63. So, with very good strike rates, obviously. So those guys, unfortunately, didn't satisfy the criteria that I set out. So without further ado, my number 5, this guy got 87 wickets from 19 Test matches. Mitchell Johnson is my number 5.
Yeah.
Really low strike rate of 43. But economy rate just a little bit higher. But look, a wonderful bowler. My number 4 is Captain Pat Cummins. Low strike rate, has done very well. 91 wickets from 19 tests. Number 3, with 100 wickets from 17 tests, Terry Alderman.
Unbelievable.
Low strike rate, low economy rate, and a low average of 21. Did very well. Number 2, now this gentleman took 167 Ashes wickets from 29 matches. The great man, DK Lilly.
Yeah, man.
Strike rate of 50.9, economy rate under 2.5, and an average of 21. And the number 1, this gentleman played 30 Test matches, Ashes Test for 157 wickets. It is the President Flem, the great Glenn Donald McGrath. Strike rate 46, economy rate 2.7, and an average of 20.92. Thank you very much. So Pidge, you're the top of the tree for me, mate. So well done.
Wow.
Thanks, Dizz.
Wow.
Now, you look after me, mate. I appreciate it.
Now, you're so modest, generally not picking yourself. That's been picked up on our social media thing. But who's your top 5, Pidge?
Yeah, now playing in England with the Duke cricket balls, just unbelievable. I wish I could have played more over there, but I haven't sat down and looked at the stats. I've gone by gut feel again for something different.
Love it.
When I think of Ashes cricket, the names that sort of jump up to me because of performances. The first one, I put number 5. I'm putting Rodney Hogg. Hoggy's, what was it? One series, 42 wickets at 12 point something. He goes on and on about it all the time. But
get it right, Pidge. He won't be happy with you.
No. At least I got 42 wickets. So I'm going to throw a Hoggy in there because of that series. And then, number 4 is a tough one. You look at all the performances over time. You mentioned Pat Cummins, Ryan Harris, all these guys. But I'm going to throw in the big Merv Hughes. Big Merv. And I remember that 93 Ashes tour where he carried the team. If you remember AV giving hooking in to Billy, to Craig McDermott. But Merv just bowled his heart out.
He did.
So I'm going to put him at number 4. Number 3, I'm putting in Mitchell Johnson. Mitch, that series where played against England here in Australia was unbelievable. He actually got his radar switched on. He was a dangerous bowler with the pacey bowl, but once he had that control, he was absolutely lethal. He was incredible that series. England didn't know what hit them. They were just blown away. So I'm putting him at number 3. There's so many other names I could throw. Bing has always done well. Other names, Jeff Thompson, those guys. But, Terry Alderman, that series he had where he was just swinging it both ways, knocking Gucci over for fun, was unbelievable. So I'm putting Alderman in at number 2. And number 1, hard to go past the great man. So DK, he's the ultimate fast bowler, and against England, like you said, his stats, what is it, 160 odd wickets, unbelievable. So they're my top 5.
I'm liking, just throwing in a few different names because there's different criteria. Because some of those guys just had one absolute massive Ashes series, not 30 wickets, like 40 wickets. So my unlucky ones are like Mitchell Johnson. Like I've never seen a fast bowler have a series like that. Like just totally dominated. Ryan Harris and Bruce Reid were 2 guys that, just didn't play enough to get into mine. Also 2 guys who took close to 100 wickets, Jeff Lawson and Craig McDermott. They were phenomenal, particularly Jeff Lawson too, very underrated. For about 3 summers, he was the number 1 spearhead. So I've sort of gone a bit of stats, bit of vibe, and also performances away and home. So number 5 for me is Tomo, Jeff Thompson. And he had one of those Mitch Johnson series in 74, 75 where England, Dennis Illy's come from back injury. He's gone. Who's this Thompson? He's too erratic. And within one test, it was virtually over, wasn't it? And then in 82, 83 at 33, he took 22 wickets at 18, I think, and had 2 good series in England, 75 and 77. Like people remember 85 when he's 35 and over the hill. But that slinging action, him and Dennis Illy, a bit like you guys, you just remember fast bowling pairs. 4, like you, Pidge, it's Captain Pat. Ice cool. What I've loved, particularly since he's been captain, if he senses, he loves targeting the best player in the opposition. So as soon as Joe Root, Virat Kohli goes out, Camo just gets the ball and generally knocks him over with a ripper. Good record home and away too, Cummins. It doesn't really worry him where he bowls. Number 3 is Terry Alderman. He twice took over 40 wickets in 81 and 89, 8 years apart. And for me, wanting to be like Dennis going through, playing state cricket, and then Ian Redpath saying, what are you doing trying to bowl express? We picked you as a swing bowler. To have Terry Alderman do that in 89, was an inspiration to me. And I remember we're in the local pub in Springvale, 20s. We're about to go out to a nightclub and sort of said, how about we just watch the first over? 2 LBWs, England 2 for none. We all pumped straight in for a big night. Thanks for that, Clemmy. Number 2, 1 and 2 were just so close, but 2, I've gone you, Pidge. I missed a line and length. It was the McGrath motorway of mayhem, whether it was at Lord's or at the MCG or at the WACA. Just sheer weight of numbers. Loved the way you predicted it. You reminded me a lot of another idol, Sir Richard Hadley. being able to call it. You got into their heads pre-series, but most of all, you backed it up. And then number one, obviously the big man, Dennis Seeley, DK. I think of headband. Probably the first series I watched was 81, where I think he got close to 40 wickets as well, and he had the big yellow headband throughout that series. But he dominated home and away, a bit like yourself. So number one for me, the great man, Dennis Seeley. So that's a pretty complete top five from all us guys.
Yeah, very good.
Well done, boys.
When you sit down and really go through the stats, if I just looked at the stats as such, the three fast bowlers that we have at the moment in Stark, Cummins and Hazelwood, their stats are unbelievable. They're definitely nearly all three are nearly in the top five fast bowlers for Australia of all time. But I thought I'd just switch it up and just throw. I know Dizz sort of with his stats and the way he goes about it. So I thought I'd just throw it up just by memories and gut feel.
Yeah,
that
I like
really
that.
stood out.
And they're popular and going well. But now time for a little segment that has gone bang to the cricketing community. Cricketers past and present now are very careful what they say, what they do. I believe some of the current cricketers are now starting to get script writers and proofreaders, because if they say anything that stirs up this great man, they are going to get nailed in his new segment. It's Dizzy's Give Me a Spell. Take it away, Dizz.
Thanks, Flem. I've been just having a look around, seeing some comments that are being made in the world of cricket. Obviously the Ashes is dominating the conversations. One you did touch on in the opener, Flemo. Ben Stokes made a comment. Obviously, I think the disrespect of past players they're allowed to actually question the fact that England have one glorified centre wicket on a low, slow lilac hill surface before the Perth Test. And I quote Ben Stokes, "There are quite a few factors that go into why we can't prepare how the has-beens have maybe prepared in the past. It's all changed. We're very comfortable with how we prepare because we leave no stone unturned."
Whoa.
Give me a spell, Ben. You're having a crack, basically having a crack at Lord Botham, because Beefy Botham mentioned he questioned some of the tactics of England leading into this Ashes series and their preparation. And I just think the word has-been is incredibly disrespectful, particularly from a Test captain. So give me a spell, boys. I got two more real quick ones.
Only two?
Just two. Stephen O'Keefe, our great mate, Sock.
Yeah.
He's come out and predicted England to win the Ashes. That is about as un-Australian as I've ever seen. You're trying to get a coaching gig or something, Sock. Give me a spell. Give me a spell. And finally, our great mate, Michael Vaughan, former England captain, highly respected adversary of ours. He claims that England are going to target Scotty Boland. Hello, 6 for 7 MCG. Give me a spell. Vaughnie, give me a spell. Dizzy out.
Oh, boom. Boom.
Very good, Dizz.
This is why they're just starting to get a little bit nervous in the cricketing fraternity, because if there's any wobbles, if they get a little bit ahead of themselves, if they refer to themselves in the third person, Dizz is going to be all over them.
Oh, isn't he what? And the thing with Dizz, you can't just say a little sly comment and it's in the paper, maybe out in the country area where only 5 readers read it. Dizz will find it. He does. He's meticulous with his research and how he goes about it. So, there's no secrets anymore with Dizz around. And, happy with that. Sock, how can you go for England to win? Even Michael Vaughan, as much as you sledged him, even he came out and said Australia's going to win 3-1. So, and you can't disrespect the greats of the game. Beefy, the has-beens. I'm wondering, Stokesy.
My God, he was a gun.
Oh, wasn't he what? And, when he talks about the has-beens, is he talking about previous tours and players that have come?
Yeah.
Because two names jump out with those has-beens in previous tours, Joe Root and Ben Stokes. So Is he saying that about his own players and own team? I don't know. So anyway.
I think Bazball's getting to their brain. But that was sensational. Hey, boys, that's stumps for this episode. We got through a lot. I think we're so excited. We're going to get another episode through in the next few days in the build-up. We might know a bit more about the teams. But to finish off, make sure if you like the podcast, subscribe, like YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all those great places to listen to us there. We didn't do it at the start, I forgot, but just to signal off, we need to do the Denisili salute. And ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, Dizz.
That was...
Flem, what were you thinking? How can you not start off with that for the great man? But we'll let you off this time.
I'm surprised that didn't end up in Give Me a Spell. I thought I was going to cop one there.
I was surprised too.
That was salute. Gentlemen, well played. Very excited about the Ashes.
See you, boys.
See you, boys.
Looking forward to it. Go the Aussies.